Our next guest name is Courtney, and she's also known as Sportswoman Courtney. And I purposely avoided saying her last name because I knew I was going to butcher it, but she's going to be on now to tell me how to pronounce it correctly. How's it going, Courtney?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. So
my maiden name is Sweetser.
Sweetser. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But my married name is Smith. So.
Okay. All right. I've been known to butcher even more common names, so that's why I've just kind of erred on the side now of just kind of putting all of the pressure on you.
Oh, well, thank you for that.
So let's talk about hunting, something that I don't do enough of and probably should. So how did you get into hunting?
I got into hunting. I grew up around it with my family, but nobody really asked me, and I think it's because I was a female. And then my husband, at the time we were just dating, knew that I loved the outdoors. So it wasn't really a question of, do you want to come? It was, you're going to start coming with me. And turkey hunting, which is actually opening here on Saturday, is what made me fall in love with hunting in general. Okay,
so I've had other guests on here before who were turkey hunters, and I just want to get a consensus from people who do enjoy turkey hunting. Is it safe to say, and I've made this kind of perception myself, I've witnessed this and I feel like it's correct, are turkeys the assholes of the bird world? I feel like, I really do feel like they're assholes.
Yeah, they're the smartest / dumbest birds you'll ever find.
Please do explain.
And it's super frustrating. So when you don't want to see them, they show up everywhere. They have vision that's 3 times better than humans, so they can pick us out of a crowd easily through brush, woods, but they can't smell, thank goodness. And they're very curious, but they're very cautious. So
they're just walking contradictions, essentially.
They are. That's why they're assholes.
I knew it. It was just by mere observation, but I was like, I just had the sneaking suspicion that they're assholes. They're like the kangaroos of Australia.
They basically kick my ass every year. And that's probably why I love hunting them so much.
Gotcha.
Because of the challenge. And you put so much time and effort into it, and then you get to harvest such a beautiful bird, but then also have that meat.
Gotcha.
So it's a great thing.
Awesome. Now, you stated that they have incredible eyesight and vision, which are the same things. But
you said it, not me.
I did. So how do you go about, I understand camo, but how do you go about avoiding those things and basically putting yourself in a position where you kind of pretty much usurp their great vision?
You don't move.
Gotcha.
Like, don't move at all. So,
so it's the movement, not so much, oh my God, there's a human right there. I can see her because she has long hair and 2 legs. Not that type of vision, but more so just movement.
Right.
Okay.
And I've been scouting them this entire week. So the best advice that I have is get in early when it's still dark because they can't see at night. So there's no light, they can't see you. And then sit down and shut up and don't move.
Gotcha. All right. So now outside of turkey hunting, what type of hunting do you like the best?
So I think my Instagram name, Sportswoman Courtney, kind of encompasses that. Really, I am not biased, and I don't discriminate, so it's whatever's in season.
Oh, well, fair enough. Now, is the majority of your hunting done with firearms, or do you hunt with bows as well?
I do both.
Okay.
It depends on the situation. I try to be as successful as possible, so whatever the situation allows for that's going to make for a harvest is what I'm going to use, because I actually eat what I harvest. Gotcha. So to me, it's about filling the freezer, and I'm not going to put in so much time with a bow if I know that the animal's going to stay outside of range.
Gotcha. So what is that experience like between hunting with a firearm versus hunting with a bow? Some of the I know it could seem like a very obvious question, but sometimes you tend to learn kind of more subtle aspects of certain practices that you thought you knew but didn't know. between hunting with a bow and hunting with a gun, what are some of the things that are better, worse?
Overall, I think both of them are great experiences.
Mm-hmm.
I think that being a bow hunter has made me a better hunter in general. You have to get closer to the animal, so there's just other things that you have to consider versus hunting them with a gun. But overall, I mean, I would choose both of those, gun or bow versus an opposite day.
I see you like to eat cake as well. Now, with that being said, there's always going to be this climate, political climate that kind of revolves around hunting. And it's not always necessarily the most positive thing. What has been your experience as being such an avid hunter on the political realm, or even in your social life, with respect to being an avid hunter and in dealing with people's perceptions of it?
I think when I first started hunting, a lot of my friends, I was in a sorority, I'm very much a girly girl. It was, who is this person? What have you become type of thing? Not in a judgmental way, but just in a way of like, who are you?
That honestly sounded like when I first got into guns. But go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just a new avenue that people weren't used to seeing. And from the social media side of it, there's always going to be haters.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I've only gotten a couple of death threats, so I feel like that's a positive thing compared to some other girls that I know that have a lot more hate. I have a really good fan base, or I guess following, and they tend to stick up for me like almost immediately before I even have a chance to rebuttal, so that's nice.
Speaking of which, how did you go about kind of growing that audience the way you have?
I have been very fortunate that it just kind of happened, honestly. I think I kind of maybe struck a new like chord with people. It was just the girly girl that they weren't used to seeing. I think the first person that I kind of saw doing that before myself was Eva Shockey, and she was very inspirational, and I was going to do a blog, and then I'm not an IT code writing person. So I worked on that for about a year and finally said, you know what, I'm going to stop that. I'm just going to make my Instagram public and turn that into my blog per se and see what happens. And it took off, and selfishly, I am very grateful for that.
Now, I've always been very, I've always pressed the notion that social media and the internet in many ways has done wonders for the gun community. Do you see the same effect with respect to hunting as well?
I do. I have so many girls and also even some younger generation kids, male and female, reach out to me and say, if you can do this, I feel like I can do this. What got you into it? What gear are you using? Just asking for my advice and asking questions that sometimes maybe people feel embarrassed to ask.
Yeah.
And I think that it's just about being honest, and if people are getting out there and doing that, that's awesome. And that's the best that we can ask for. And so many girls, even just with guns, have come to me and said, I might not want to hunt, but I'd love to learn how to pick up a gun. And to be able to take these girly girls that are my best friends out there and teach them how to feel confident using a gun, I think that it's so amazing.
Yeah. So now, what do you usually say? Just picking up on something that you mentioned about, some people are like, I mean, I really want to hunt, but I kind of still want to kind of learn. What is usually your retort or your rebuttal when people criticize you for hunting and saying, well, like, why would you want to, like I've said before, kill Bambi? Like, she's so pretty.
Well, I don't typically kill Bambi. There is a strategy behind what we do as hunters, and it's all about conservation. So I just try to educate them on why we're taking the animals that we're taking, how there are rules in place, laws that you follow. There's reasons that we harvest the animals that we harvest, and that it's better for me to know where my meat comes from than to get a steroid hormone pumped something from the grocery store that's probably touched thousands of machines and people's hands that I don't necessarily know.
Yeah, it's probably much better than me overpaying for hippie meat from Whole Foods as well, too. So, you know, there's that also.
And mine, actually, I believe tastes better. So.
I mean, I live in a farmer's market, and I've never even been there, and I'm kind of like, yeah. But so with that being said, we got about a minute left. What are you working on nowadays?
Working on planning some upcoming hunts and trying to collaborate with some different individuals to just try to broaden the hunting horizon and reach new target audiences to show what good we can do and how it can be a really good sport and hobby for people to learn and just to get outside.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you very much, Courtney, for joining us. It definitely was a pleasure. And you get some of those asshole turkeys for me.
Thank you.
I was just going to stop at the first word, and I realized what was happening. And then I was like, just finish it, Collins, please. Just finish it. Finish it.
Right.
But thank you very much, Courtney. It was definitely a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. You have a good one.
You too.
All right. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about a certain state gun law and how much a little impact they have.